The following WCIA-free sports presentation is brought to you by CEFCU. This is the CEFCU, your Illini Nation Postseason Special.
Tonight on the Illini Nation Postseason Special, March is here and the Illini are playing their best basketball. Can they carry the momentum into the Big Ten tournament? We break down the bracket and hear from head coach Brett Underwood.
Plus, the Illini will call on players from all over the country and 3 other countries to step up in basketball's biggest month. We bring you one-on-one interviews with Ben Hummerkaus and Kasparis Yakuchonis.
Plus, former Illinois players still keeping up with the team. We get Myers Leonard's thoughts on this year's squad as he embraces retirement.
It's basketball's biggest month.
Exciting time of year. And that's what we want to be, playing one of the last teams at the end of this.
And the Illini are red hot.
Do you think that this is the most confident the team has been all year?
Yes.
Freshmen made for this.
I'm not afraid of these moments.
Veterans stepping up.
And win or go home for the Fighting Illini.
We have to be dialed in every second of the game.
Diving on the floor.
It's tournament time. It's March.
And the Your Illini Nation Postseason Special is on the air. Hey, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. This is the Your Illini Nation Postseason Special. She's Courtney Lane Brewer. I'm Glenn Kinley. Tristan Thomas standing by. We're here to preview the Big Ten tournament for Illinois men's basketball. Of course, with that, we got to start with the bracket.
Of course, the Illini getting the 7th seed in Indy. Illinois plays tomorrow night at 5:30 against the winner of 15 seed Iowa versus 10 seed Ohio State. That game is going on right now. So should Illinois win that game, they advance to the quarterfinals and play Maryland. That would be another 5:30 game on Friday.
We're talking Central Time here, even though it is in Indianapolis. The Terps, along with Michigan, UCLA, and the top-seeded Spartans, receive the double byes. If you're tracking, the Illini would need to win 4 games in 4 days to hoist a Big Ten title.
As we look more into the Illini's first postseason matchup, we bring in Tristan Thomas. Tristan, what can you tell us about the teams that Illinois could see tomorrow?
Yeah, Courtney, Illini fans can feel confident heading into their second-round matchup against either Ohio State or Iowa. They've beaten both teams this season, a 20-point win over the Hawkeyes just over 2 weeks ago, while the Illini opened February with an 87-79 win at home over Ohio State. Let's start with the 10-seed Buckeyes, finishing the regular season 17-14, 8th-ranked team in the Big Ten at 36th in the net rankings, 35th in KenPom, a team with marquee wins this season over Kentucky, Purdue, and most recently Maryland last month, a team that could pose a threat to the Illini if they get past the Hawkeyes with 6 quad 1 wins this season. Speaking of Iowa, the 15 seed in this tournament, much lower in the analytics with a 16-15 record, 65th in the net, 67th in KenPom, but definitely a down year for Fran McCaffrey and company with just a 1-14 record in quad 1 games, coming off a win at Nebraska in the regular season finale. Iowa and Ohio State played just once this season in Iowa City. The Buckeyes won that 82-65 back in January. Regardless of the opponent, Brad Underwood expects both teams to lean on jump shooting in Thursday's second-round matchup.
Don't know our opponents. Obviously going to get a team that shoots the ball very well, that relies a lot on jump shots. Both these teams are very, very capable of putting some baskets together from the perimeter. So we'll see what that looks like and start preparing tonight after the outcome.
And as mentioned, these teams tipped off in Indy at 5 o'clock on Peacock. We'll have a score update later in the show. Now, the Illini, of course, will take this postseason one game at a time, but that Maryland game in the quarterfinals is interesting with Illinois bringing back Morez Johnson Jr. It's also notable Tomislav Ivicic was out the last time they played in Champaign, and the Terps scored 62 points in the paint. Would be an interesting matchup to watch this time with Tommy out there this time.
Tristan, thanks. Let's take a look back at how the Illini got here. It was an up-and-down season, to say the least. The first month of the season, indeed, included wins over mid-majors, splitting high major neutral game sites with the loss to Alabama and the Thanksgiving Day win over Arkansas. On to December, which was a mixed bag, starting 1-1 in league play, winning Brian Rice with a close loss to number 1 Tennessee.
Illinois opened January with 2 West Coast wins at Oregon, which was one of the best games we've seen from them all year, and at Washington. Then injury and illness started to hit, and boy did it hit hard. Playing into the USC loss at home and a loss at Nebraska. February was, I don't even want to talk about it. Rough loss at Rutgers, followed by 2 wins. Then Michigan State has the Illini collapse at home. Big loss at Wisconsin. Then the worst loss in program history at Madison Square Garden against the Duke Blue Devils. You can call it the low point of this season. A game that, though, didn't break this team when they were counted out. Something spelled out by Brett Underwood after the win at Michigan.
After New York, it would have been very easy to pitch a tent and say, we're done. You don't want to fight very hard. This group has done just the opposite. And some of the best practices of the year, nice to be able to practice, but just get the energy back in practice that allows you to improve and get better.
Illinois wrapped up the regular season a winner of 3 straight, including the Orange and Blues' first win against Purdue since 2021. That was just this past Friday. Kaspers Yakachonis hit the dagger in that Purdue win. There it is.
I could watch it every day.
We'll talk about that much more than the Duke game for sure. He was a third-team All-Big Ten selection by the coaches and the media. He was also on the All-Freshman team. Will Riley recently moved into the starting lineup, but since he came off the bench enough, he was the Big Ten 6th man of the year, averaging just over 12 points per game as a freshman. Tomislav Ivasic, an All-Big Ten honorable mention by the media, scoring over 12 a game and in 28 games this season, while Ben Hummerkaus got Illinois' Big Ten Sportsmanship Award honor.
All right, let's talk NCAA. The Illini are slotted anywhere from a 5 to a 7 seed in some of the latest tournament projections. CBS and Fox have them as a 7 seed, facing either West Virginia, that'd be interesting, or Utah State. Bleacher Report has them all the way up to a 5 seed, facing a first 4 winner, while ESPN has them in the middle ground as a 6 seed. Maybe the biggest plus for the Illini's resume 8 Quad 1 wins and a top 20 team in the net rankings, and Ken Pom recently rejoining the AP Top 25. Still to come on the Your Illini Nation Postseason Special, we'll hear from Shauna Green as her team awaits selection Sunday. Plus, we check in with a former Illini and get his thoughts on this year's team.